And I haven't told the girls yet. I'm like, something is wrong. Like, what am I about to do? Something is wrong. Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chrissy, and as you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be the second part to my ski trip. So if you haven't watched the first part yet, make sure you go back and watch it so you're not confused and you just get a better gist of everything that's going on and all that I'm talking about in this video. But this is really the sit down portion where I'm going to go through planning, packing, what you should do, what we did, and why it went wrong. Just all the things that went wrong in the trip, I'm going to let you know right here. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment down below, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications when you get a chance so it can go a little boop every time a new video is out. And let's just get right into the video. So I made a little list so I don't ramble on too long. And the first thing on the list is just to let you guys know the whole itinerary, the run through of how the trip was supposed to go. So I actually have the itinerary here on my phone. Let me show you just how extensive it was. Like, I planned everything out to a T. I planned the trip. It was for my 21st. So that means from Tallahassee to Atlanta, Atlanta to Tennessee, and vice versa when we were on our way back. That is what we did, but the first thing that went wrong is that we left late. So we left at 11 o'clock rather than like 6:30, 7 o'clock like we were supposed to. I was really thinking we were gonna leave at like 7:30 the latest, because like I'm always late. We was all over the place that day, and my mom kept calling me like, are you on the road yet? Are you on the road yet? And I'm like, ooh. At one point I was scared to answer her call. Anyway, back to everything. So the big bulk of what went wrong during the trip happened Friday night. So we get there and we check in. The place is cute. Everybody has their room assignments. We all unpack. We go grocery shopping. We do what we need to do. And that night we were sitting down talking, trying to figure out what time we were going to leave the hotel in the morning to go to Ober-Gatlinburg. And Ober-Gatlinburg is a ski resort in Tennessee. So it's about 30 minutes away from where we were staying, which wasn't far. We stayed in Sevierville, I think that's how you say it, Sevierville, Tennessee. And woo. So I go to Google Ober-Gatlinburg, and when I get to the site, it says slopes closed. So I was like, the slopes are closed. Something ain't right. We all sitting down, but I'm quiet now because I'm going through my phone. Like I closed all the apps out. I'm like boom, 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 boom. Closing all the apps. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Like, and I haven't told the girls yet. I'm like, something is wrong. Like, what am I about to do? Something is wrong. And I was like, this can't be. Like, this just cannot be. So the slopes were actually closed, and I had to break the news to the girls, and I was really trying to figure out what we were about to do because it ain't make no sense to me. We just drove 8 hours for them to say that the slopes were closed. And the slopes were closed basically because it was too warm for them to make the snow. And that was crazy because it was cold as heck to us. But it was too warm for them to make the snow. And if you don't know, these places make artificial snow because it's not always cold outside. And it doesn't always snow from the sky outside. So they make their own artificial snow with these like blowing machines. And basically it said that we couldn't go skiing. They would have snow tubing available, which is what we had planned for Sunday. That was already paid for. Reservations were already made. But as far as skiing, we had all the money and the slopes were closed. So we sat down as a group and we figured out what our next bet would be. And our next bet was to find the closest ski resort because I wanted to go skiing. That was the purpose for this trip, was to go skiing. Forget snow tubing. Even though it was fun, that was not why I wanted to go on the trip. I wanted to go skiing. So The closest ski resort to us from Gatlinburg, Tennessee was in North Carolina. Yes, a whole nother state. So we were like, okay, this is going to be real interesting. Hey, I called them Saturday morning, made sure we were good and everything like that. Made sure that we could do our ski lessons since it was all of our first time going skiing. Everything was situated. And we get dressed, we have a nice morning, we dance a bit, we make TikToks, and we take pictures. We get in the car, and we're on the way to the place. And it is drizzling. And as we drive closer and closer, it's heavily raining. And about 30 minutes into the ride, in the rain, I was like, thinking in the back of my head, is this really necessary? Because it's raining really hard. We're not going to be comfortable. We're going to be wet. Our makeup is going to be ruined. Our hair is going to be ruined. Like, is this really the best choice that we're making? And I voiced it to the girls, and they basically were saying the same thing that I was thinking in my head. Is this really what we want to do? It's not going to be fun in the rain. Like, it's not about to be fun in the rain. There's no way it's going to be fun in the rain. It was like raining. And we pull over. We have a group discussion. We decided that's not the best bet for us. And what was our next game plan from there? So we decided that that was going to be our chill day, and that Sunday, when we were supposed to do our snow tubing, since our reservations are already made, we're going to do snow tubing, and then after that we're going to go to North Carolina and do the skiing. It's all going to happen in one day. All of our snow activities are going to happen in that one day. Here comes Sunday. So tubing. We all get dressed, we wake up, we eat breakfast, yada yada. And tubing gets here, we get there. Let me tell y'all about the drive to get there. So there's two different things that you could put in the GPS for Ober-Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Ober-Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There's the one on Google, and then there's the one on Maps. I don't remember which one we used exactly, but it drove us to the top of the mountain. To the top of the mountain. I'm used to driving on hills just a little bit now because I go to school in Tallahassee, and where I'm from, the roads are straight. So I'm getting better with driving with hills, but not hills to the extent of Tennessee. Ooh, it was terrible. Like, I wanted to start crying, but I knew if I cried, I wouldn't be able to see. Kayla was freaking out. Sydney was freaking out. Tracy was the only one cooling it in the back. And it was just too much. At one point, I had to start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, because my legs were shaking. My toes were gripping the gas. And I was barely on the gas, and my toes was gripping the gas. I was so scared. Like, that was the worst drive I've ever had to do in my whole life. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So the drive to get up there was tragic. And let me tell y'all about what else happened to us going up the damn mountain. So going up the mountain, we get to the gate. After experience almost going off a cliff because there ain't no railings, like, it was just terrible. We get to the gate, and y'all wouldn't believe, my gas light came on. My gas light came on. The gas light made a... I said, oh, how are we gonna get back down the mountain? How are we gonna get back down the mountain? That was the next issue. So we get there and we do our snow tubing or whatever. It was fun. The check-in was very simple, very easy. The place was extremely cute. It was all types of age groups that was doing the snow tubing. It was a 90-minute session. I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't too bad. Like, it was fun. It was fun. It was very fun. It was cold. It was wet, but we'll get to that. Back to the no gas. So we get back in the car and trying to make it down the mountain. I'm like scared. I asked like 4 different people there while we were at like the ski resort. Do I have enough gas in my car to get back down the hill on E? Like, it was just It was absurd. It was absurd. We actually do make it down to a gas station. The gas in downtown Gatlinburg is a lot higher than everywhere else in Tennessee, but we needed gas, so we got gas. And by the grace of God, we actually made it to the gas station without running out and having to push the car. So the journey for us to get up the mountain really discouraged us from driving from over Gatlinburg to North Carolina to go to the other ski resort that we were planning on going to. We were extremely scared because we didn't know how the roads would be, one. We weren't sure if the roads would be just as windy and no railing, like you could almost fall off the cliff type roads as it was in Gatlinburg. We weren't sure like if it was going to be the same way in North Carolina. It was a lot to really think about and contemplate, and we had a group discussion and we just felt like that wasn't going to be best for us to do that because we weren't sure how the roads were going to be, and it was possibly going to be dark, us trying to get down the mountain in the dark or get up the mountain in the dark. So we ended up not going skiing, and I was so hurt, y'all. I wanted to cry. I was like fighting my tears in the car on the way back to the hotel, like, and then when we got to the hotel, I cried. I locked myself in the bathroom and I cried for a little bit. I made a few calls and talked to my mommy, and really like had to mellow myself. I was blessed for the opportunity to have gone, but the whole reason for the trip was me really wanting to go skiing, and I wanted to experience it with my friends. So, but I mean, everything happens for a reason. Our safety was the most important thing at the end of the day. So skiing will always be there. I can always ski, but like, it could have been a very dangerous situation, us going up and down the mountain, possibly in the dark. Let me get on to the contingency plans as far as how you can make your trip better than ours. So, first thing, it is good to plan it is good to plan out detailed how everything is going to go, but not to the extent of what I did. I overplanned, and it was kind of like throwing my mood off. Kind of just go with the flow when it comes to a trip, especially a group trip. Yes, it is best to make group decisions just to accommodate everybody in the group, but always try to go with the flow. You may not like something that the majority of the group wants to do, but still have an open mind and do it. Another thing with group trips, definitely have the person that is organizing the trip accept payments. So especially in college, it really does help when you don't have to have a lump sum of money all at one time. Like, I'd be like, okay guys, in like 2 weeks I need $150, and then they would give it to me a month from today I'm gonna need $125, and I know what this money is going towards, and when they would send it to me I would take it out and keep it in cash or pay for the reservations or what we needed to pay for with it. So the trip didn't cost an arm and a leg, but it was still fun. It just didn't go as planned. Now, the biggest contingency plan is to make sure that if you plan on going to a resort that is making their own snow, you might want to find out what the closest place is, just in case they won't be making snow once you get there, or there's a problem of some nature, and there's all kinds of things that could possibly go wrong. Just make sure you have other things set up just in place, so you're not just wondering, well, what are we going to do now? We drove all this way. We drove 8 hours and we can't even ski. What are we going to do now? So just try to figure out different plans. Have plan A, have plan B, possibly plan C, just in case something falls through. Yeah, so that's just about it. Now on to the clothes. So I am going to do a little lookbook, little quick see lookbook for you guys. With snow tubing, bring gloves. Bring gloves, bring gloves. I can't really give advice as far as skiing because we didn't get to go skiing. But snow tubing, bring gloves. You will be touching that cold tube. You will be picking it up when it's wet and cold. Like, it was cold. Definitely layer up. Bring an extra change of clothes. It was cold. It was wet. It was like, imagine like a water park, but like ice. And you know, ice is just frozen water. So it was cold. It was cold. It was cold and it was wet. Bring a change of clothes in your bag. Leave it in the car. Something of that nature so that you can be able to change your clothes. It was cold. Yeah. So let's just get right into the lookbook. Show you guys a few looks that I wore during the trip.